Ruby was a young reindeer living in the snowy forest of the North Pole. Every day she watched the older reindeer of Santa's sleigh team practicing their magnificent flights, soaring through the crisp winter skies with ease and grace. Ruby admired them from afar, but deep down she felt inadequate. "I'll never be as good as them," Ruby whispered to herself, her antlers drooping. She had tried flying before, but every attempt ended in clumsy landings or tangled legs. Her best friend, Holly the rabbit, always encouraged her, but Ruby's self-doubt was difficult to overcome. One day, an announcement from Santa himself reached the reindeer herd. "This year, I need a new reindeer to join my sleigh team. Practice hard and I'll choose the best flyer." Excitement buzzed through the herd. Ruby's heart raced, but fear quickly set in. "You should try, Ruby," Holly said, her fluffy tail twitching with enthusiasm. Ruby shook her head. "What if I fail in front of everyone? I couldn't bear the embarrassment." Despite her doubts, Ruby couldn't stop thinking about the announcement. Late one evening, she ventured into the forest, away from prying eyes, to practice. Her first few attempts were as clumsy as ever. She stumbled, tripped, and even landed in a pile of snow. But Ruby wasn't alone. Blitzen, one of Santa's seasoned reindeer, had been observing her. "You've got potential, Ruby," he said, stepping out from the shadows. Ruby looked up in surprise. "You really think so?" "I know so," Blitzen replied. "Flying isn't just about strength. It's about determination and heart. Let me help you." Under Blitzen's mentorship, Ruby's training began in earnest. He taught her how to control her leaps, angle her wings, and find the rhythm of the wind. Holly often cheered her on, bringing her snacks and keeping her spirits high. "Remember, flying is about believing in yourself," Blitzen reminded her during a particularly difficult session. Gradually, Ruby started to improve. Her leaps grew stronger, her landing steadier, and her confidence brighter. But the thought of competing still frightened her. One snowy afternoon, Blitzen organized a trial run for Ruby. He set up an obstacle course of pine trees and snowbanks. Ruby hesitated at first, but eventually took off. She weaved through the trees, narrowly avoiding a branch, and landed safely at the finish line. Holly clapped her tiny paws in excitement. "You did it, Ruby." Ruby smiled, but doubt lingered. What if it's not enough for Santa? The day of the sleigh team trials arrived. Reindeer from all over the North Pole gathered to demonstrate their skills. Ruby stood at the edge of the crowd, her legs trembling. When her name was called, she almost backed out, but a glance at Holly and Blitzen gave her the courage to step forward. Ruby took a deep breath and leaped into the air. She soared higher than she ever had before, her heart pounding as she maneuvered through the course. The crowd cheered as she landed with a graceful skid. After all the reindeer had their turn, Santa stepped forward with his list. He praised each reindeer's efforts and announced his decision. Ruby had earned a place on the team. Ruby's eyes widened in disbelief. "Me? Really?" Santa chuckled. "You've got the spirit of a true flyer, Ruby. Your courage and determination are exactly what we need." Christmas Eve arrived and Ruby joined the sleigh team for the first time. Nervous but excited, she took her position beside the older reindeer. As they took off into the starry sky, Ruby felt a surge of confidence. The world below sparkled with lights, and she realized she was part of something magical. When the team faced strong winds and heavy snow, Ruby's quick thinking and training came in handy. She helped guide the sleigh through the storm, earning praise from her teammates. By the time the sleigh returned to the North Pole, Ruby felt like a completely different reindeer. She had faced her fears, overcome her doubts, and proven her worth. "You were amazing, Ruby," Holly said, hopping up to greet her. Ruby beamed. "I couldn't have done it without you and Blitzen. But most of all, I couldn't have done it without believing in myself." From that day on, Ruby became an inspiration to the other young reindeer. She taught them that success wasn't about being perfect. It was about trying, learning, and never giving up. And every Christmas Eve, as Ruby soared through the skies with Santa's sleigh, she carried the lesson in her heart. Even the smallest steps can lead to the most incredible flights.